It is week 3 of college football season. Welcome to Single Leg Parlay. I'm Andy. That's Matt. That's Danny. That's Al. We already reviewed week 2, so if you haven't heard that yet, go check that out. Today, we are here with your free picks. But before we get to that, gentlemen, let's drink a beer.
Let's go.
Cheers.
Cheers. Let's get to our top matchups of college football this week. Al, why don't you go ahead and kick us off? What is the matchup you are most excited to see in week 3?
Yeah, so this is probably not at the top of most people's lists, but I think it's an interesting matchup nonetheless. It's Texas A&M at Florida. So it's a couple teams that have talent on the roster, have not had the start that they've wanted. Well, I guess, yeah, that's true. But you know, there's still a season to be salvaged, and I think for one of these teams that starts on Saturday, and for the other one, just makes the hole that much harder to dig out of. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see what kind of mental attitude they approach the week with, and how they look on Saturday.
Yeah. I'd like to play Matt's favorite game here, which is transitive property football.
I love it.
A&M lost to Notre Dame, who lost to Northern Illinois. So basically, Northern Illinois is better than Texas A&M. And if they beat Florida, then Northern Illinois is also better than Florida.
And then, yeah, that sounds right. I do think, is there a chance it's a live dog situation? Texas A&M is a 3-point favorite. Would you consider Florida an opportunity on the money line? I'm a little scared because I do think that team is deficient, but DJ Lagway could be good.
Is he like getting the start? Is it like the DJ Lagway show as of like last week?
Yep.
I wasn't sure if they just like pulled the starter and put him in for reps, but it's just.
What was the starter's name? I want to say Graham Mertz, but
it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is for sure like Billy Napier in his death throes, right? Like this is his last chance at salvaging his job. He's got to have DJ Lagway go out there and like be lights out and win out, and then he can keep his job. Otherwise, he's toast.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, it's entirely possible that Texas A&M is bad, and it's entirely possible that Florida is good. They just ran into a wagon in Miami, right? So I don't hate the live dog at all.
Yeah, I mean, so you said Florida's a dog already, right? That's where the line is. So we're looking like A&M gets a quick score. Then we're looking at Florida plus double-digit points,
something like
approximately.
That.
I feel good about that.
Maybe bet whoever scores first, bet the other side kind of situation, especially if it's Texas A&M.
Yeah.
All right, next up, the game I am looking the most forward to is Alabama-Wisconsin, because if Alabama plays the way that they did the first 52 minutes of last week, Wisconsin's going to smoke them. But obviously Alabama is capable of much more than that, as evidenced in the last 8 minutes of that game. And if that Alabama shows up, they're going to smoke Wisconsin. So could really go either way. I think it's a fun matchup.
Camp Randall's a hard place to go into and get a win. Like, I don't care what year it is. I don't care who's coaching Bama. That's not going to be an easy win for Bama. I don't think so. I mean, to your point, it could end up looking that way at the end of the day. But I think for a good portion of this game, at least a half, Wisconsin hangs. And that might mean Wisconsin plus 8 or whatever they probably are getting in the first half might be worth a flyer if you're itching.
That seems like a really interesting bet. Alabama's been starting 2 freshman corners, and they've kind of been exposed, but the quarterbacks on the other side haven't been good enough to really expose how poor the defense has been over there. Tyler Van Dyke's got skill. He has skill, and if you're going to play man against him and your corners aren't going to do their job, he could have a
he'll hit those balls over the middle for sure.
There's no pressure on him right now either. You know what I mean? Like, that's the whole thing. Like, he doesn't deal well with expectation, and like there are no expectations at Wisconsin right now. And
he doesn't deal well with zone defense.
You got Bama coming in. Everybody's gonna give Bama their best. So I think I might actually bet Wisconsin first half.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna place any bets on Wisconsin. They're still implementing this like air raid thing, which they played a couple of cupcakes and couldn't get over 30 points.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna be able to put up the points on Bama.
That's fair.
It'd be fun to do a sandwich bet, like actually lay the 16 or whatever it is with Bama, but also take Wisconsin first half.
Ooh.
Try and thread the needle.
I took Wisconsin full game plus 16, but I think that number's gone. I think it's under 14 now. But so Chris couldn't join us tonight, but he did provide us with some of his information. His favorite game of the week is LSU at South Carolina, and his note was that this is a chance for South Carolina to prove that they are relevant. Personally, even if they're relevant, they're still not going to compete for the top of the SEC. So
it's
That's
wide
not
open
who
in
they
that
are.
third spot we talked about last episode. It's wide open in that third spot, and they're the only ones that have won an SEC game so far.
You know,
And I don't think South Carolina really has ambitions to be the best, right? They're just not in that atmosphere, but they want to be competitive, and I think they could be.
Oh, if they could just be upper half, I think they'll be happy in this SEC.
This is
I mean,
going to be a
yeah.
really fun line matchup, though, because LSU has like 4 offensive linemen projected to go to the draft, and I cannot remember the defensive end for South Carolina, but he had a fucking day.
Oh, wasn't it like Scoucher or something?
No, that's Texas A&M. Scourton.
Oh yeah,
Scourton.
yeah.
I think it's Powers, but that could be a really fun matchup to watch.
Yeah. I just South Carolina is another place that's a little bit tricky to play, and LSU did not look. I mean, I guess it depends on how high you are on USC, right? Like the other SC. Whether if you think SC looks like is really good, then maybe you think LSU is pretty good. If you think SC is like just kind of okay, then LSU is very beatable by that sort of comparison. So I don't hate that play. I'm not going to bet it, but I support it.
nice. Danny, you're up next. What do you got?
So, formerly known as the Civil War, now known as the Battle Puss, I'm going with Oregon State. They're fighting for that platypus trophy thing. But honestly, Oregon does not look like they are awesome in their first couple games. Specifically, their rush defense against Boise State was kind of atrocious. That's the reason they that they had to eke out that game. So a team that can really run the ball well, they spread the ball around. They give a lot of guys more than 10 carries every time. Oregon State, I expect them to be able to hang with them. It just should be a pretty good game. This game's played kind of early in the year for these two teams, but yeah, let's watch it, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I full on heard a coffee mug shatter when you were talking about Oregon. Like they are sus as fuck. Like that's the ultimate Kaiser Sose. Like, but this is what's going to happen to their season. That didn't really come through audio, but I did the finger blowing thing, like from Usual Suspects when Kaiser Sose disappears.
On video, you could actually see Al like getting all this information from all the spots on the wall and everything. It was
The
great.
billboard zoomed in on the coffee mug.
It was great editing, Andy.
Thank you. All right, Matt, what are you excited for this week?
Similar to what Danny just said, I'm excited to watch the Apple Cup. Usually the last game of the year, like the Battle Puss. Now it's moved up to week 3 because now they're in different conferences. I don't think Washington is particularly good. I know Danny's been on it a little bit. I think Jed Fish is fine. I think they lost a ton of talent. And I want to see if Washington State has a little bit of that dog in them going from Pullman to Seattle. I think it could be a fun game. I do think the Washington should win. But I'm curious to see if there's some angst being left behind in all this conference realignment.
It's a good matchup. Both of these teams lost really good quarterbacks, so that's most of the talent that Washington lost. So, I agree. I think that's going to be a great game. Love the Apple Cup.
Yeah, you brought up an interesting point, Matt, that neither of these two matchups we just discussed are conference games anymore. And fun little conspiracy theory here, since everyone in the Pac-12 despises Oregon State and Washington State, we're going to get a little Dudley Boys combo where the two dogs team up to hit a roughly plus 400 parlay on the money line. Washington State, Oregon State. I'm not betting it, but I'm hoping it happens.
By team up, you mean they're both going to send their best players to the same game and create an all-star team? Because that's the only way that's happening.
That's more or less.
Monsters.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Were there any other games, big games anybody want to talk about?
Yeah, I think Arizona, Kansas State is really, really an interesting game. The Big 12 is, I don't know what to make of it. It seems like Utah, then there's a whole lot of in the middle there, and then there's a whole lot of crap. So Arizona looked awesome week one, looked suspect last week. I love Fafita, I love McMillan. I feel like I've said it every episode. They're great. Are they going to be able to bounce back? Because McMillan, they both looked bad last week. They won. That's okay. You just move on. Kansas State, Avery Johnson was someone I had talked about previously as being a star. The reason they let Will Howard go to Ohio State has not looked the part. His hair, his beautiful hair has deceived me because I bought into long hair, beautiful quarterback. Not very good so far. So this is going to be a huge game for who ends up challenging for the Big 12. Noon kickoff. We'll see how it goes. But I think it could be really fun.
I don't recall if we talked about this on camera or off last week, but Air Force Baylor, I'm interested in. I love to support the troops, and this is a scenario where I think that they could get in and get an upset. I mean, I think I'm getting 2 touchdowns on the line, but there's a chance that Air Force could come in and get Baylor's coach fired.
Yeah. If they lose, I'm putting it on the record. I'll put a chug on it. Dave Aranda's ass is gone by Sunday. If Baylor loses, Dave Aranda's ass gone Sunday. If not, I'll chug a beer.
That is so early.
It is early.
I love it.
Early.
It is early.
Yeah, but he's already on the hot seat, right? I mean,
his seat is
3
so
games last year. So,
Yeah.
all right, nice. Let's move on into our best bets, where we will actually give out some picks. These have been absolutely on fire. We have not done this personally because we actually recommend not doing this, but some of our friends have been texting us and telling us that they have been parlaying these together and buying PlayStations and taking their wives out to nice dinners. So just saying. Matt, let's go in the opposite order. Let's have you kick this off. What's your best bet?
Yeah, I'm going to go over in Utah State. The total looks like it's 47 points. I think there's a good chance Utah gets 47 points in this game. That Utah State team is bad. If they can score 7 or 10 points, this one should coast home. And it's a rivalry game, so there will be no love lost. And I am not betting against Uncle Kyle in Rice Eccles to put the – oh, no, it's not in Rice Eccles. It's in Logan. Never mind. But I still think Uncle Kyle's got something to prove. His team looked really great in the first half last week. Pretty suspect against Baylor in the second half. Held on for the win, but I think he's got to work some things out, and I think he's going to exercise some demons against.
This is last season, right? He said he's going to retire, so
yeah.
I think they're gonna fight for him this season.
He appointed a successor. I don't know that he necessarily said it's his last season, and maybe he did.
He could do what Bobby did to Jimbo for so many years and just hang around.
Exactly. Yep.
Appoint my successor and hang around for 2 or 3 years.
It sounds right.
It's also like the TV show Succession.
Yeah.
I would keep an eye on Cam Rising's status for this because he did get a little bit banged up at the end of the last game. So
shocker.
Yeah, right. But not having Cam Rising is definitely going to affect an over here. So
that's true. I didn't realize that I knew he wasn't playing, but I just figured they may have pulled him out. So that does impact it there.
I think he's probably going to play.
But will he be 100% and will he get knocked out of the game? Is sort of.
Well, I think it's like a cut on his non-throwing hand or something. It doesn't sound like something that should impact him that much, but.
Cam Rising, that shit's gonna get infected and he's gonna need antibiotics and stuff.
Yeah, so just keep an eye on that throughout the week, I guess. Danny, what do you got?
I am going with Duke over UConn. Duke, Manny Diaz can definitely coach defense, and Duke's defense still seems like they're going to be good this season, specifically on their D line. So and UConn sucks. So I think they win this by 3 touchdowns, and that's going to be an easy cover in my opinion.
I like that bet. I like it a lot.
Nice. Next up, we have Chris's best bet. Matt, you want to share this one?
Yeah, so he is taking the FSU Memphis over, and I'm probably going to come along with him on this journey. Memphis has a really good quarterback and a really good offense. Seth Hennigan, you will hear his name on Sundays. He will be a backup, probably for, feels like the Washington Commanders. Something about it feels very commandery to me. But he's super talented. Got a great arm. This is going to be the toughest passing attack Florida State has faced by far, because they haven't faced a good one, a really good one yet, and they still don't look great. And I am praying that we had some come to Jesus and we're going to score 28 points. And if both those things happen, at least 28 points, this should cruise over the 53.5. Is that the number right now?
That's what Chris provided. I haven't checked.
Yeah, that should cruise over the 53.5. I do think, I don't know what to do with the number as far as the actual spread, but over 53.5 is the thought there.
Looks like it's down to 52 now. So
over 52. 52 flat?
Yep.
28-24 gets you a draw.
Nice. All right. My pick here, I'm going to go with Nevada getting 16.5. I know, it's shocking, right? I was on Nevada the first 2 weeks of the season. Those both covered easily. I laid off of them last week, and they didn't cover. I'm feeling really dialed in on Nevada, guys. You guys can make fun all you want, but the money I make on Nevada spends exactly the same as the money you guys bet on your fancy teams, all right? Nevada plus 16.5.
Like
Duke versus UConn. Yeah.
I kind of take offense, Andy, that your bet of the week is Nevada when I'm on the other side.
I'm on the
a little
other
bit,
side,
a little bit rude.
Al, this isn't NFL.
Fair. Probably
right,
means the right side.
Al, what do you got for your best bet?
Laying 21.5 with Utah. I'm not worried about the hook. They're going to smoke Utah State. They're a much better team. Like, I think, Matt, did you already do yours? You're on the over?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so Utah might hit it by themselves.
Yep, that's the thought process, bud. You and me, two peas.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
All right.
Look at us.
And then we'll finish this off by giving out some money line plays. These were incredible last week. What was it? 5-1, I think. You could have made a killing on these. So.
Yeah, I screwed up by only doing the 2s and 3s on my round robin.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. So we've got a bunch of picks in here. Some of them that a bunch of people are on. So I'll go with the one that I have that nobody else is on, and that is Jacksonville State. I like them to win this one outright. So Jacksonville State is my money line pick. Al, what do you got?
Sorry to derail. Who are they playing, Jacksonville State? Am I on the other side of that and you're doing it to me again?
It's possible. I don't even remember. I entered these a few days ago. No, you're not on that one.
Okay.
It's they're at Eastern Michigan.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like.
Can you remember which Michigan's which, really? Even the real Michigan sucks this year, so they're all kind of the same.
Shredded wheat, so yeah. It's
Eastern Michigan is the green. Eastern Michigan is a green team. Western Michigan is a gold team, and Central Michigan is the maroon team. And there's
Central
not a
Michigan's
Southern Michigan.
Gonna get their ass whooped. That's all I know.
Yeah, I like ECU and UCLA as short dogs, and they're both plus 2.5 ish.
Those are good.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm on the UCLA one as well.
Yeah, I think everybody likes UCLA. That's a good pick. I think I had it as one of my picks as well. For longer ones, I like Air Force, who I mentioned already, and New Mexico State.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm pretty sure I'm on New Mexico State on the spread this week.
Same.
Yeah, so am I.
So. All right, and then Matt,
it's a lot of points. Both of those are a lot of points for them to cover.
New Mexico State's plus 20.5, so that's definitely
they're long money lines.
A dart
long
throw.
Money lines.
Yeah,
right, and then Matt.
I'm with you both on ECU and UCLA. Like that a lot. I think Hawaii is to be considered in this. I think Pittsburgh is to be considered in this. And why not take it to Gus's bunch in Orlando, Florida? I think UCF can be a really live dog here. I don't even know. It may be a pick 'em now. I know the number was moving in that way, but TCU.
I think it's bet on both sides, actually, the UCF game. It's bet on both sides. The UCF
Okay.
TCU. You could get plus for both at one point. There was an arbitrage opportunity when we were first doing our picks.
We screwed up. I should have done it. I don't know about that one as much, but I do think you should consider Pitt and Hawaii in this situation.
I really like that Hawaii one. It looks like Central Florida has flipped most places now.
Okay. Yeah, they were the dog. Hey, consider TCU then. I don't really know. Like, this game is a super coin flip. Take some better odds. It truly is a coin flip. I don't have a feeling on it, but it could be either way.
All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoy week 3. Those are some great picks. Hopefully we make as much money as we did last week because that was really a lot of fun. And stay tuned. We're going to have our NFL review and preview both coming out shortly as well. So, boys, anything else before we wrap it up?
No, let's have a great week.
Cheers.
The Battle Puss.
Thanks for listening to the newly rebranded Single Leg Parlay podcast. Visit our website at www.singlelegparlay.com, where you can read more of our thoughts as well as subscribing to our newsletter to have our picks delivered straight to your inbox each week. And don't forget to follow Single Leg Parlay on all of your favorite social media platforms. Cheers!